All right, so the first question that I'm going to be answering is tell me about yourself. So I strive on providing exceptional customer service experience to our customers by being an Xfinity ambassador. Within the years that I have been working at Comcast, I have been promoted 4 times to currently what I am now as a professional. I enjoy being a helping hand and a go-to person. I joined the floor support team so that I can continue to be a helping hand to the agents and supervisors and within the call center. And when I am not on floor support, I like to go above and beyond for those representative and supervisors that reach out to me for additional assistance, whether it be work order, entry policies, or escalations in general. The next question would be tell me about your past work experiences. So I worked at Dutch Wonderland for 3 years, in which I was promoted 2 times within a year and a half. And this job has helped me grow my leadership skills and understand why it is important to work in a team and communicate with one another. I also have 10 plus years with customer service experience with face-to-face interactions with the customer and problem solving and finding customers' needs right on the spot. The next question that I have is describe a time when you worked well on a team. So whenever I find updates that are happening within the company, I provide those updates and changes to my team to make sure that they are prepared for the future and upcoming changes that may cause issues in the future or may be a benefit for the customer, depending on whatever the scenario is. A few months ago, we received notification that the internet services would be increased. I reached I researched the changes and captured all the important information so that I can forward to my team so we can use this to our advantage with selling the internet services and how it will benefit the customer. With having all these changes having all this information prior to all the changes, this helped us be able to promote the services, let the customer know in advance of those changes, so that the customer can see why our services are the best for their home needs, because the internet would be increasing even though we're not increasing the pricing, so it would be increasing the value for the internet services. And because we know that the world that we live in is now based particularly on internet and social medias and things of such, this was a important and great change for customers. Tell me about a time when you had too many things to do and had to prioritize your task. All right, so within the last month, I had several tasks that needed to be completed for school, and then I also had several things that I needed to coordinate for church. In order to prioritize, I created a list of each task that needed to be completed and the importance of each task and the deadline for each task. With having all that information as a to-do list or as a list, I was able to put into my schedule when I would be able to work on those particular tasks. That way I can make sure each task was being touched and addressed and completed by the deadline. I was able to complete my task for school prior to the deadline, and then I was also able to coordinate the events for church. I was able to reach out to the special guests that we were interested in having to see if they would be able to come. I was able to make sure that their hotel rooms would be booked and that they had available transportation, and getting all the flyers printed out and handed out for those that may be interested in coming from other churches to support our church and the special guest. By having all this planned out and scheduled, it allowed me to complete all the tasks that needed to be done by the deadline. All right, the next question is, tell me about a time when you had to go above and beyond the call of duty and how you handled the situation. So for this, I had a customer that called in June to cancel services because his sister had passed away about a little bit less than a month before. He was looking for credits to be applied from the time that she passed away up until the time that he initially called to cancel services. I am aware that we have a policy of 120 days to dispute any billing inquiries and things of such, billing disputes. So I reached out to our finance team so that we could be able to credit the customer for the time difference that they were charged for. The finance representative advised me that they only knew of a policy of crediting up to the date of when the services had been canceled. I requested that the finance forward me that information so that I can forward it to my team, because we were only aware of the 120-day policy. The finance representative stated that she will follow back up with me. I told the customer that I would follow back up with him once we get the updated information, and we would go from there. When the finance representative reached out to me, she stated that she nor her supervisor and their department were aware of this new policy, the 120-day policy, which was the newest policy that had came out. The one prior to that was the one that she was aware of. Not only was the finance representative appreciative that I was able to provide her with information that would be very important to her position, but I was also able to satisfy the customer because I went to bat for him. And even though he was canceling the account, I still created a promoter from him. So when I called him back, he was super excited. So the next question is, tell me about a time when you worked effectively under pressure. So I want to say last week, being on the supervisor escalations team, I typically have a lot of customers or agents that reach out to me with customers that are seeking further assistance. And most recently, I had an escalation on a customer that was dissatisfied of a channel that we were migrating from his package to a different package. The customer the customer did not understand why the channel was moved, as he is in a contract. So he was under the impression when he first got into his contract that all the channels that he had at that point would be the channels that he would continue to have until the end of his contract. I did explain and go over the information on why the channel was moved, and when I explained that to him, I went ahead and started asking him, what services are important to him, what was important for his household to have, discover the needs that he wanted. We were able to find him a new package that was a few dollars more than what he was paying. But not only, was he getting services that he wanted, he was also getting more than what he had. So it was increasing the value. So he was very satisfied with that. The next one is, give me an example of a time when you showed initiative. So I do have a part-time job. I work at AutoZone, and I usually work on Wednesdays, which is typically I come in and work in the warehouse with putting truck away. And then on this particular Wednesday, for whatever reason, the schedule was short one person. So we had one less person in the front helping out with customers coming in giving customers what they need, answering the phone calls. So I realized that the person that was in the front was getting overwhelmed. There were customers building a line and the phones were ringing. Even though I was scheduled for warehouse, I stopped to help out in the retail side of services and the counter until we gained control of the customers that were in the store and also the calls um, on the phone. And throughout the day, I made sure that the customer in the front was not only, able to assist the customers, but if it, ended up getting overwhelming for her, that I was there to help her and make sure that she knew that I had her back, even though again I was scheduled for the warehouse. So this provided a good or a positive experience for the person in the front counter. And then we were also handling the customers within a timely fashion. So that created a positive experience for them as well. And then the last question is there anything else that you would like us to know about you? And what I would like to say is I do like to challenge myself and aim to meet exceptional goals, um, because I understand that the car position is mainly based on customer service and networking. I push myself to get comfortable with what I consider as uncomfortable. I started to Uber and Lyft to increase the customer experiences that I could provide for not only those customers that I were picking up to transport them, but also the customers that I would be handling on a daily basis at my other two jobs. In doing so, this helped me be a better conversational starter in a different light. It helped me network more, and then it also helped me build relationships with my customers, which is what I strive to do best.